Hey everybody, Daniel Mosnet here with Cowboy Charcoal, and we're getting saucy today in the backyard. That's right, we are doing 3 different sauces. We're gonna start in South Carolina and show you how to do a vinegar sauce. We're gonna move over to Alabama and do one of those Alabama whites that are so good on chicken. And then we're gonna go to Kansas City. We're gonna show you how to do a simple Kansas City barbecue sauce. Now these are just kind of the base sauces. You can do anything you like within these recipes and adjust to any kind of flavors. We're just going to show you how to do the basics. Okay, so our first stop today is gonna be in South Carolina, where we're gonna make a South Carolina vinegar sauce. So we'll take our yellow mustard. I prefer to use French's mustard, that's my go-to. What's your favorite mustard? There's tons of great mustards out there. Let's add our apple cider vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, get our honey going in there. Now you can use a spiced honey, you can use a hot honey, there's maple honeys, all kinds of great honeys out there that you can use. A little bit of ketchup, garlic powder, and our softened butter. That's it, those are all the ingredients. We'll now take this and we'll mix it up. You wanna make sure you start with softened butter so it makes it a lot easier to mix. So you want this pretty well mixed before you put it on the grill. Or your stovetop, either way. But this is how you really elevate your barbecue game. You elevate your grill game by making these base sauces, figuring out what you like, and then improving on it from there. That's it. That's 100% of the work that it takes to get this done. Let's put this on the grill, and then we'll show you how to make the Alabama sauce. Okay, we'll put this right on the grill. We're gonna let it not really come up to a boil, just a nice little simmer. Then we'll move it off to the cooler side of the grill, let it sit for a few minutes, make sure all that butter's melted and the flavors have come together. And then it's ready to go. All right, now that our South Carolina sauce is on the grill, warming up, we're gonna head down to Alabama. Let's get our sauce going here. First thing we're gonna do is add our mayonnaise. We're gonna whisk all of this together. So we've got mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, a lot of prepared horseradish. Now you can use fresh grated horseradish if you like, whatever your flavor preference is. We're gonna use a little bit of granulated sugar and a little bit of minced garlic. We'll add a little salt and pepper to taste. I don't like to add too much black pepper because it is an Alabama white sauce, so I don't want the color to overpower it. And then we're just gonna whisk it up. Kind of like an aioli almost that you can use over your artichokes or any of your vegetables. And that's it. That's as simple and easy as it is to prepare an Alabama white sauce. Now this sauce is perfect for dunking chicken or just squeezing right over the top of some fresh grilled or smoked chicken or pulled chicken. Man, it's fantastic. Let's give that a taste and see how we did. Boy, that tastes good. The acid in the Alabama white sauce is really what cuts through all of that smoky flavor that you're gonna get from your grilled chicken or whatever you're grilling. It's perfect, perfect sauce to use. Now that that sauce is complete, let's head over to Kansas City and put together a Kansas City barbecue sauce. Okay, here we go, Kansas City barbecue sauce, an essential sauce for outdoor grilling. It's easy to make. You can buy some at the store, but making it at home tastes a little bit better. So what we're gonna do to get started is just a little bit of olive oil right over the grill. Now that our oil is going on the grill, we're just gonna add onions. You can hear that saute starting. We'll get that going. And our garlic. We'll saute this for about 5 minutes or so until they start to appear translucent. Then you know they're ready. Today we're just cooking over oak and hickory lump charcoal. Very simple charcoal. We're not really imparting any smoky flavor. If you want to add a smoky flavor to this sauce, you can take your tomato sauce and you can pour it in a long pan and add some wood chunks or wood chips for about 10 or 15 minutes. That's gonna impart some of that smoky flavor into the tomatoes before you add it. Or you could add chips or chunks directly to your coals to bring that smoke flavor in. Today, we just are using a base oak and hickory lump charcoal so we get nice heat and an even heat while we're cooking our ingredients. Okay, so now that we've got our onions and garlic going, today we're cooking over Cowboy onion and garlic briquettes. You can see these briquettes. You smell the onion and garlic as it's cooking, and you can see the actual bits of onion and garlic in the briquettes. So you're smelling it cook, you're smelling it from the briquettes. It's just like when you walk into somebody's house that's cooking with onions and garlic for your dinner. It's the same experience you're gonna have out on your grill. These onion and garlic briquettes, absolutely fantastic. You've gotta try them. All right, now that we've got our onion and garlic relatively translucent and cooked down, we're gonna add our chili powder, add some black pepper. I add a little extra black pepper because I like that spice. We'll add a little bit of salt. And all of this is to taste. About a teaspoon or so, but it's up to your taste specifically. Let that cook in a little bit. Ooh, you can smell that pepper cooking too. See what it does to the onions? Coats around each one of the pieces of onion. That flavor is gonna carry through. It's important that you take this step once you've sauteed your onions and garlic to add your dry ingredients before you add your wet ingredients, and then just toast them a little bit. You get a lot more flavor. You'll coax more flavor out of all of those spices. Okay, now that we have our onions and garlic going, we're gonna add our brown sugar. I use a lighter colored brown sugar. Some people use a dark colored brown sugar. I like the flavor of a light colored brown sugar a little bit better. It's a little less heavy. We're adding molasses to this as well. So the caramelization and the color will get dark with the molasses. If you want it a little sweeter, you could add more molasses to it. That's why I like to use a light colored brown sugar. Mix this around a little bit. Now we're ready for our wet ingredients. We'll add our tomato sauce. And don't worry about the clumps of the brown sugar. They'll break down as you cook and they'll all melt away. We'll add our apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, Worcestershire sauce, about 1/3 cup or so of Worcestershire sauce. Make sure you get enough. We'll add steak sauce. It's up to you what kind you like to use. A1, Lee & Perrins. There's so many flavors out there that you can choose from. We'll add some honey. We'll add a good amount of mustard. This is where we bring in the molasses. Just add it right in. Add a little bit of Frank's Red Hot. Hot sauce is really personal preference. You can use truff sauce, red hot sauce, Baumauer's hot sauce, any hot sauce that you like. I like Frank's Red Hot for this recipe. We're just gonna stir to combine, and then all you're waiting for is for those flavors to come together. Letting all of the brown sugar melt, caramelize, and just fade away. That's it. That's the entirety of the recipe. This will take about 10 to 15 minutes or so. You want this to thicken down a little bit. Mine doesn't look as thick and as dark as I want it to be, so I'm gonna add a little bit more molasses. And it's really, again, just personal preference. I love the flavor and the taste of molasses. So having that molasses in the recipe and adding a little bit more than it calls for me, is my preference. All right, so our sauces have been cooking for about 15 minutes or so. I let my Kansas City sauce go a little bit longer than 15 minutes because I like a more thick sauce. So let's take a look at these here. We look at our Kansas City sauce. That's got a nice consistency to it. Still bubbling a little bit. It's still pretty hot, but man, that looks fantastic. We've got our South Carolina sauce, vinegar based. Remember, you want to make sure that this sits up for about 24 hours before you use it. I mean, technically you could use it whenever you like, but you get that vinegar smell, you get that mustard smell a little bit. Looks great. The Kansas City, you can strain this if you want to make it a little bit more thick, but We're just gonna pour it right in. Now remember, these sauces will thicken as they cool. Our Alabama white sauce, that won't thicken up because we didn't cook it at all. So that is just what it is. So if you want it a little bit thicker, you might need to add a little bit more mayonnaise to it. And there we go. There are 3 basic sauces for any barbecue that you want to put together in your backyard. South Carolina vinegar sauce, Kansas City barbecue sauce, and Alabama white sauce. Take your tour around the country, make these at home. Like, follow, and subscribe for more recipes just like these and great tips on how to use Cowboy charcoal, wood chunks, and wood chips. Until next week, I'm Daniel Mosnett. Keep it cooking with Cowboy.